The Great Gatsby is a shimmering portrait of the Roaring Twenties, a time of jazz, excess, and dreams both realized and shattered. The story follows Nick Carraway, a young man who moves to Long Island's West Egg and becomes entangled in the world of his mysterious and wealthy neighbor, Jay Gatsby. Gatsby's lavish parties and relentless pursuit of a lost love, Daisy Buchanan, unfold against a backdrop of wealth, illusion, and moral decay. This classic novel explores themes of ambition, identity, love, and the elusive American dream, painting a haunting picture of desire and disillusionment. About the author. F. Scott Fitzgerald was an American novelist and short story writer, often regarded as one of the greatest voices of the jazz age. Born in 1896, Fitzgerald captured the spirit and contradictions of the 1920s with a keen eye for detail and lyrical prose. His works, including The Great Gatsby, delve into themes of wealth, class, love, and the pursuit of happiness, often exposing the darker undercurrents beneath the glittering surface of American society. In the summer of 1922, a young man named Nick Carraway moved from the Midwest to the glittering shores of Long Island, New York. He settled into a small house in West Egg, a place where the newly rich built grand homes that sparkled with promise and extravagance. Nick was a quiet observer, drawn not by wealth but by curiosity and a desire to understand the people around him. Across the bay, in the more fashionable East Egg, lived the old money aristocracy families who carried their wealth like a badge of honor, wrapped in tradition and social standing. Nick's cousin, Daisy Buchanan, belonged to this world, as did her husband, Tom, a man of power, confidence, and a touch of arrogance. But the real mystery of West Egg was Jay Gatsby, Nick's enigmatic neighbor. Gatsby's mansion was the site of lavish parties, where music floated through the night, and guests arrived in a blur of champagne and laughter. Yet Gatsby himself remained a figure wrapped in shadows and rumors. Some said he was a war hero, others whispered about his questionable business dealings. What was certain was his extraordinary hope and determination, all centered around one elusive dream. As the days warmed and the nights grew longer, Nick found himself drawn deeper into Gatsby's world, a world where love, ambition, and illusion danced beneath the surface. The glittering parties, the whispered secrets, and the restless longing of a man chasing a past that refused to let go would soon unravel, revealing the fragile heart beating beneath the glitter. Nick's curiosity about Gatsby only grew as the summer unfolded. One evening, Gatsby invited him to join one of his famous parties. The mansion was alive with music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses, a dazzling display of wealth and joy. Yet beneath the surface, Nick sensed a loneliness in Gatsby, a quiet yearning that set him apart from the crowd. At the heart of Gatsby's dream was Daisy Buchanan, Nick's cousin. Gatsby and Daisy had once been deeply in love, but time and circumstances had pulled them apart. Gatsby's grand parties, his vast fortune, and his carefully crafted persona were all part of his relentless effort to win Daisy back, to recreate a past filled with hope and happiness. Meanwhile, Daisy lived in a world of luxury and ease, but also restlessness. Her marriage to Tom was complicated, marked by his arrogance and infidelities, and her own conflicted feelings. As Nick spent more time with the Buchanans, he saw the cracks beneath their polished surface, the carelessness and cruelty that could hide behind smiles. The story deepened as Gatsby and Daisy's paths crossed again. Their reunion was filled with both joy and tension, a delicate dance between memories and reality. Gatsby's dream seemed within reach, yet the shadows of the past and the realities of their lives loomed large. Through it all, Nick remained a thoughtful witness, watching the dreams and desires of those around him, the fragile hopes that sometimes soared and sometimes shattered. The summer stretched on, carrying with it the promise of change and the weight of secrets yet to be revealed. As the summer days grew warmer, Gatsby's world and the world of the Buchanans became more closely intertwined. Nick found himself caught in the middle, watching as old dreams collided with new realities. Gatsby's hope was fierce, shining bright in his eyes whenever he spoke of Daisy, yet the past he wished to recreate was fragile and elusive. One afternoon, Gatsby invited Nick to his home for a private gathering, a quieter moment away from the bustling parties. There, Gatsby shared stories of his past, a childhood of modest means, a life shaped by determination and ambition. He spoke of the war and the distance that time had placed between him and Daisy. His words were filled with a longing to turn back the clock, to reclaim what he had lost. Meanwhile, Tom Buchanan grew increasingly suspicious of Gatsby. His arrogance hardened into a sense of ownership and entitlement, and he was unwilling to let go of Daisy so easily. Tensions began to rise beneath the surface of polite conversations and grand social events. Nick sensed the approaching storm, the fragile peace threatening to break. Daisy, torn between her feelings and her place in society, struggled with the choices before her. The world she inhabited valued appearances and status, but her heart pulled her toward a different path, one filled with passion, risk, and the promise of something new. The characters moved through lavish settings, luxurious mansions, bustling city streets, and quiet moments by the bay, each scene filled with the weight of unspoken emotions and hidden truths. The glittering facade of the Jazz Age began to crack, revealing the complex and often painful realities beneath. As the summer reached its peak, the lives of Gatsby, Daisy, Tom, and Nick drew inexorably together, setting the stage for the choices and consequences that would soon change everything. The tension that had been quietly building finally came to a head one warm afternoon. Gatsby, Daisy, Tom, and Nick found themselves together, the air thick with unspoken words and hidden feelings. The grand facades of wealth and status seemed to fade, revealing the raw emotions underneath. Tom, proud and fierce, confronted Gatsby about his past and his intentions with Daisy. The conversation was sharp and revealing, peeling back layers of illusion. Gatsby stood firm, his love and determination unwavering, but Nick could see the strain beneath his confident exterior. Daisy, caught between two worlds, struggled with her own heart. The life she had built with Tom offered security and comfort, but Gatsby's passion and dreams called to her in ways she hadn't expected. The moment was fragile, filled with both hope and fear as the past and present collided. In the days that followed, the fragile balance shattered. A tragic accident occurred, one that would change lives forever. The shimmering surface of the Jazz Age glitter faded, replaced by the harsh light of reality and loss. Nick, ever the observer, felt the weight of what had happened. He saw how dreams, no matter how beautiful, can be fragile and fleeting. The people around him revealed their true selves, flawed, vulnerable, and deeply human. As the summer drew to a close, Nick reflected on the world he had witnessed. The glittering parties, the whispered secrets, and the chasing of impossible dreams had left their mark. He understood now that beneath the glamour and the lights there was a deeper truth about love, ambition, and the cost of chasing illusions. After the tragedy, the world around Nick seemed quieter, as if the dazzling brightness of the summer had dimmed forever. The parties stopped, the laughter faded, and the grand houses stood empty like fragile shells. Gatsby's dream, once so full of hope and light, now felt distant and unreachable. Nick took it upon himself to try to make sense of everything, to piece together the fragments of a story, filled with love, loss, and the pursuit of something just beyond reach. He reached out to those who had been part of Gatsby's world, only to find that many had already turned away, unwilling to face the truth or bear the cost of loyalty. As Nick prepared to leave Long Island and return to the Midwest, he pondered the deeper meaning of Gatsby's life. Here was a man who had dared to dream bigger than most, who had chased a vision with unwavering faith, even when it seemed impossible. Gatsby's life was a testament to the power of hope, but also a warning about the dangers of living in illusions. In the end, Nick saw the American dream not just as a promise of wealth or success, but as a complex and sometimes heartbreaking journey. The glittering surface could blind and deceive, but beneath it lay human desires that were both beautiful and tragic. As he looked back one last time at the green light shining faintly across the bay, the symbol of Gatsby's unreachable dream, Nick understood that some dreams shape us, even when they remain forever out of reach. As Nick packed his belongings and prepared to leave the world of West Egg behind, he felt a quiet sadness mixed with clarity. The summer of shimmering parties and restless dreams had come to an end, leaving behind lessons written softly in the shadows. He thought about Gatsby, the man who had built a world of hope and illusion, who had chased a dream so fiercely it seemed to glow like a beacon across the water. Gatsby's story was one of longing and courage, but also of heartbreak and the price of chasing a past that could never truly be reclaimed. The people Nick had met, the careless Tom and Daisy, the mysterious Gatsby, and all those who drifted in and out of their lives, reminded him how fragile the line is between reality and fantasy. Their choices and actions had rippled outward, leaving marks that could not be erased. Standing one last time by the shore, Nick gazed at the distant green light across the bay, a symbol of dreams both shining and unreachable. He understood that life is filled with such dreams, moments of hope that guide us, even when they remain just beyond our grasp. With a deep breath, Nick turned away from the water, ready to move forward with a heart tempered by experience and a mind open to the future. The story of Gatsby and that summer would stay with him always, a reminder of the beauty and tragedy woven into the fabric of life. And so the tale closed softly, like the last notes of a jazz song fading into the night, leaving behind a quiet echo of dreams and memories. Thank you for joining me on this reflective journey through The Great Gatsby, a timeless tale of dreams, love, and the elusive nature of the American dream. May this story remind you that behind every glittering surface lies a deeper truth, and that sometimes the greatest courage is found in facing reality with an open heart. Rest well, and may your own dreams shine bright, even when they seem just out of reach.